Hey guys, these are going to be your notes for your first station, station number 1, and they're going to be on the respiratory system. So the respiratory system is going to be an organ system that allows us to breathe in and breathe out, to take in oxygen and to release carbon dioxide into the air. So the respiratory system, it's a system of organs that allows for gas exchange. All that term gas exchange means is breathing, okay? When we breathe in, we take in oxygen. When we breathe out, we release carbon dioxide back into the air. That term gas exchange means that exchange for oxygen and carbon dioxide between the environment and our bodies. There are a few structures that we need to know for the respiratory system. The first being the mouth and the nasal passage, or our nose. It's going to be our body's opening that allows air to go in and out. Okay, so we can breathe in through our nose, we can breathe in through our mouth, and we can release air through both passages. We then have our larynx, which is also known as our voice box. This is a hollow organ where our vocal cords are going to be found. So hollow organ that contains the vocal cords. So this is what allows us to make noise with our mouth and speak to each other. I'm actually going to skip epiglottis real quick because it's actually listed down below in your notes. And we are going to go to trachea. Trachea is also known as the windpipe. It's next to your esophagus, and this is where air is going to travel down and into our lungs. So it's a tube that leads to the lungs. Now we've talked about before how we don't want any food going down into our trachea, going down into that windpipe. And that's what the epiglottis is for. It's going to be a little flap of cartilage that covers the windpipe or covers the trachea. And again, it's just going to protect that trachea from having any food drop down into it because we don't want to choke. Next, we have the diaphragm. The diaphragm is actually going to be a muscle that controls breathing. So for the most part, it works by itself. You don't know that your diaphragm is contracting and relaxing, but we can control our diaphragm. Anytime you breathe on purpose, like you're actually controlling that diaphragm. You're controlling that muscle to allow air in and out of your lungs. And last is our lungs. So our lungs are going to be our main respiratory organ. It's an organ where air is drawn in. And this is where gas exchange is going to occur. So we are going to capture oxygen in this organ, in our lungs. That oxygen is going to move from our lungs into our bloodstream and then be transported throughout our body. So lungs is an organ where the air is drawn in. We have two lungs, one on each side of our body, and we need those lungs in order to capture oxygen. On the next page, we're going to do a quick labeling of our respiratory system. So we're going to start up top with our nose and our nasal passage. Again, this is where air can enter our body. Over here, towards the back of our mouth, we have our epiglottis. Again, it's going to be that flap that covers our trachea and doesn't allow food to go down. Down here we have our larynx, or our voice box, where our vocal cords are housed. Then we have our trachea, which is our pipe that goes down into our lungs. And we have two lungs, one right here and one right here. Now, an important note to make. We have a right lung and a left lung. The directions are always from the patient's point of view, or the person's point of view. So if I'm standing right here, I have my right lung and I have my left lung. But looking at the camera, that might be backwards to you. So on this side, from the patient's point of view, we have our right lung. And then over here, we have our left lung. Again, it's from the person's point of view. So my right lung is on this side, my left lung is on this side of my body. And those are going to be your notes for your respiratory system.